everybody. How you doing?
Hi.
This video here is about Fort Pulaski. It's a national monument. It's between Savannah and Tybee Island. On your way out to Tybee Island, it's out there. It's pretty cool. It's got a moat around it, big guns.
That was the moat was really cool.
Yeah, it was really nice, and it was built in 1847. They finished it, and it was just almost $1 million to build it. But it's really nice. They have a nice display of cannons, and they do a reenactment of shooting the cannons, 2 different kinds. So it's nice. It's a lot of fun. It don't take all day to go through it, but you know, an hour or two, and
yeah,
you know, but it's worth the stop. It's very interesting. So.
Very little bit of history.
Yep. If you get a chance, check it out. Check out the video and let us know if you like it. Leave your comments and like and subscribe.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Cannoneers, to your post.
You actually have to be on the brick, folks.
For safety reasons, we cannot fire the guns unless you are on the sidewalk.
I can do that.
Is that in the canon?
Attention, catch! Take, implement!
Everybody on the crew has a designated number and a series of designated activities they have to take to make the gun work. Starting on this side, we have positions 1 and 3. Position 1. He has a dual purpose device. It looks like a giant Q-tip on one end, and it's got basically a plunger on the other end. What he does before we fire the gun, he takes the giant Q-tip, sticks it in a bucket of water, and swabs out the barrel of the gun. He doesn't do that to clean it. He does that to extinguish anything that might still be smoldering in there from a previous shot. The last thing you want to have happen up here when you're putting a new charge in that gun is to have something burning inside the barrel. If that happens, then you get real exciting on the front of the gun. So his idea is to extinguish anything that might be burning in there. Later on, after we've actually put a charge in the gun, he uses the other end of that tool to shove the charge all the way down the barrel to the chamber. Position 3 has multiple roles. She's doing there's a lot of stuff going on if you're working position 3. Her first job when we're loading the cannon is to put a leather thumb stall over this hole in the gun. This hole in the top of the gun is how we introduce flame to the chamber to make it go boom. While they're loading the gun, we don't want air to go in there because once again, if there might be something smoldering in there, we don't want it to get a draft and ignite and create danger, hazards, or problems on the front of the gun. So she covers that. Later on, she uses this device. It's called a vent pick. Once the charge is in the chamber, she'll stick that down through the hole and punch a hole in the charge itself, so that later on, when we do introduce flame into the chamber, the gun will go off. Her last mission is when the gunner is actually aiming or training the gun, she moves around here and follows his directions about whether the rear of the gun needs to be moved left or right. Position number 2 has a couple of missions. His first mission is when number 5, and her job is to bring back in that leather pouch, is to go to the limber and collect whatever kind of ammunition the gunner asked for. She collects the ammunition, brings it up, lets the gunner look at it to make sure it's okay, and then she brings it up to number 2, who actually puts it in the gun. Once he puts it in the gun, number 1 shoves it down the chamber. Once we fired the gun, to make sure there's no debris left in there, after number 1 sponges it, then number 2 uses this worm, this corkscrew looking device, to reach down there and make sure there's not anything still in the barrel. If we have loaded the gun and for some reason we decide not to fire it, the only way we have of getting that cartridge out of the gun is to use that corkscrew, stick it down in the barrel, hook onto the cartridge and pull it out. So that's basically what he does. My position today is number 4. What I have a lanyard. It's a piece of string with a hook on it and a handle. Nothing real complicated. What I do with this lanyard is I hook up this. This is a friction primer. It's got a loop on one end and it's got some chemicals in it that don't like to be disturbed very much. So once we put this in that vent hole, we stick it in the vent hole. When I yank on this loop, that acts more or less like striking a match, and it sends a little jet of flame from this primer down through that hole. It goes through the hole that number 3 had poked in the cartridge, and it makes it go boom. That's how the system works. What we're going to do, we're going to do that. We have a couple of extra moves when we get over to the parrot. We actually have to simulate moving the gun back into the position it was originally in after it was fired, because when they fire, they roll backwards and you need to move them forward. So we've added that move because it's a different gun and it operates a little differently. You have any questions? Okay, remember, when you hear the word ready, that means something's going to go boom and you probably want to protect your ears.
Please stay on the sidewalk at all times. Thank you. Attention, detachment. Take implement. With case shot at 300 yards. Load.
Gunner.
Ready. This time, please cover your ears. Fire! Cease fire! In battery. Heave, halt. Ready. This one is louder, folks. Please cover your ears. Fire! Do not advance. Primer has failed. Reprime the piece. Our friction primer has failed, folks. This is part of normal Civil War artillery drill, but we will take care of it. Ready? Please cover your ears. Fire! Cease firing!
I guess we'll end this video right now. But also don't forget to like and subscribe wherever those things are. And if you have any questions or comments, we'd really like to hear what you have to say about our videos. And that's about it.
Yep, we'll talk at you later.
See you later.
ya.
Bye-bye.